Amid the vast deserts of eastern Arabia, where dunes stretch endlessly toward the horizon, stands a colossal structure known as King Fahd International Airport. This is not only the gateway to the world's richest oil region, but also the largest airport on the planet, its area exceeding that of an entire major city. But the real mystery lies here. Why did Saudi Arabia choose to build a mega airport in such a harsh environment? And more importantly, how can they operate this giant machine in a place where a single sandstorm could paralyze every technical system? In this video, Mandarin Tech invites you to explore how the Saudis transformed a barren land into one of the Middle East's most advanced hubs of trade, transportation, and aviation technology. Located northwest of the city of Dammam, King Fahd International Airport, covering more than 776 square kilometers, stretches across the deserts of eastern Saudi Arabia and is regarded as the largest airport in the world by land area, making it one of the aviation complexes with the greatest expansion potential on the planet. The airport entered commercial service in October 1999 and is currently operated by Dammam Airports Company, serving more than 12 million passengers each year. From above, the facility appears like a metallic oasis in a sea of sand, where aircraft line up to land under the blazing sunlight of the Middle East. Standing out within this vast layout are the two runways planned in parallel to ensure smooth and continuous takeoff and landing flows, while the terminal system is designed to serve commercial flights, business flights, and the operations of Saudi Aramco Aviation, the internal aviation division of the Saudi Aramco Oil Company. With its strategic position in the heart of the most important oil and industrial region in the Middle East, King Fahd serves as the air gateway for the entire eastern coast of Saudi Arabia, where every stream of passengers, cargo, and logistics must pass through. More than just an airport, it is part of Saudi Arabia's long-term infrastructure strategy, built to meet current needs while leaving room for growth for decades to come. King Fahd International Airport is considered one of the most exceptional aviation infrastructure complexes in the world, not because of traffic density, but because of its unprecedented scale and planning mindset. With an area of more than 786 square kilometers, larger than many mid-sized cities, King Fahd was designed as an aviation mega-campus in the middle of the Dammam Desert, where every zone, from the passenger terminal, cargo area, and maintenance center to the dedicated aviation facilities of Saudi Aramco Aviation, operates as an independent unit, yet remains tightly interconnected. Two parallel runways, each more than 13,100 feet long, enable stable handling of long-haul flights, while the expansive taxiway system minimizes intersections and enhances operational safety. From a strategic perspective, King Fahd is a clear testament to Saudi Arabia's effort to shift its economy away from dependence on oil, moving toward a model based on aviation, logistics, and commercial services. The project is positioned as a key piece of infrastructure for the entire Eastern Arabia region, connecting Dammam, Al-Khobar, Dhahran with the rest of the region and the world. Under the 2030 vision, the airport is planned to accommodate 120 million passengers per year, a figure expected to rise to 185 million by 2050. In terms of economic impact, King Fahd plays a vital role in supporting non-oil growth by promoting trade, business travel, and aviation services. The airport creates tens of thousands of direct and indirect jobs across sectors such as airline operations, ground services, transportation, supply chains, and engineering. Thanks to its strategic location and massive land area, King Fahd is viewed as a core infrastructure asset that helps eastern Saudi Arabia maintain its development momentum while strengthening the country's position as an increasingly important logistics hub in the region. Shaped by planning projects that span several decades, King Fahd International Airport was developed as an iconic air transport space that blends modern engineering with Saudi Arabian cultural identity. Instead of focusing on imposing massing like many traditional airports, the design team chose a more refined approach, extending sight lines along long axes to create wide, continuous corridors that allow passengers to feel the openness the moment they enter the terminal. The rhythm of the interior draws inspiration from geometric patterns and traditional Islamic motifs, but is moderated through modern materials to create a minimalist feel. In the central terminal area, lighting is calibrated according to different times of day, keeping the concourse bright without being harsh, an important factor in a desert climate. As a result, the interior space stays cool while offering a sense of connection to local culture without sacrificing modernity. One of the design's highest priorities is the passenger movement experience. Hallways, waiting areas, and intersections between access flows are arranged according to intuitive logic, minimizing walking distances, a detail often overlooked in many large airports. The rational organization of the floor plan allows users to orient themselves easily and move smoothly without encountering spatial bottlenecks. This design not only improves operational efficiency, but also delivers a naturally comfortable experience, aligning with the spirit of a modern international airport focused on user experience. The idea of building a large-scale airport in eastern Saudi Arabia emerged in the late 1970s when air transport demand was rising across the Dammam Dahran area. The government chose a vast desert region northwest of Dammam, about 35 kilometers from the city center, because it offered enough land to develop an aviation infrastructure complex for decades to come. The total planned site area reached 776 square kilometers, making King Fahd the airport with the largest land area in the world. In the 1980s, construction teams began leveling the desert to create the foundation for the terminal, runways, and taxiways. The work focused on reshaping the terrain by flattening natural landforms and large sand dunes and reinforcing the surface to support the loads of a modern airport. Because this was a desert region, the biggest challenge was controlling drifting sand and ensuring ground stability before placing structural systems. All activities complied with the standards of the Saudi Arabian General Authority of Civil Aviation, (SHARGACA), and the United Nations International Civil Aviation Organization, (ICAO), for airport foundations in hot and dry environments. King Fahd was designed with 2 runways, each about 13,100 feet long, enough for wide-body aircraft to take off and land. The construction team laid the base layer of the runway and then covered it with a specialized asphalt concrete capable of withstanding temperatures of more than 120 degrees Fahrenheit in eastern Saudi Arabia. The 2 runways were built in parallel, allowing the airport to handle multiple flights at the same time and accommodate long-haul aircraft. From the late 1980s to the early 1990s, the terminal was built with the distinctive architecture of the Gulf region. The project included spacious halls, check-in areas, arrival and departure corridors, and technical facilities. At the same time, the air traffic control tower was constructed to oversee all flight movements across the airport's vast area. Supporting facilities, such as the Royal Terminal and a dedicated terminal for Saudi Aramco Aviation, were also built according to specialized operational standards. Once the main structures were in place, the electrical system, runway lighting, large-capacity air conditioning, ventilation, water supply, drainage, and aviation telecommunications were completed. All aviation equipment, such as radar, navigation systems, radio communications, and baggage handling were integrated according to international standards. GACA and international contractors worked together to ensure that the airport could operate under high temperatures and the harsh desert environment. By 1990, most of the airport's infrastructure had been completed. Highways were expanded to connect King Fahd with Dammam, Al-Khobar, and Dahran, turning the airport into an important transportation hub for the eastern region. Supporting areas such as aircraft parking stands, cargo warehouses, maintenance centers, and auxiliary services continued to be added throughout the 1990s. The airport officially opened on November 28, 1999, and has since become the largest aviation gateway on the eastern coast of Saudi Arabia, serving more than 10 million passengers each year. King Fahd International Airport serves as the strategic air gateway for the entire eastern coast of Saudi Arabia. an area considered the industrial heart of the nation, where oil, petrochemicals, mining, and energy services are densely concentrated. Thanks to its location between the three key cities of Dammam, Dhahran, and Qatif, the airport connects directly to major industrial clusters such as the Jubail Industrial City, Ras Al Khair, and King Salman Energy Park, Spark. Its proximity to these massive production centers means King Fahd is not only a passenger hub, but also one of the most critical logistics links within the Dammam metropolitan area. One of the most notable developments is the Air Cargo Village, an on-airport logistics zone designed to handle hundreds of thousands of tons of cargo each year. Combined with the free zone being developed in parallel, international companies can establish light assembly lines, packaging operations, and distribution activities directly within the airport grounds without paying import duties. This model has already proven effective in Dubai and Doha and is now being implemented by Saudi Arabia to enhance its regional competitiveness. Beyond air transport, King Fahd is also directly connected to the GCC railway network, an intergovernmental rail system under construction to link Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Oman, and Kuwait. Once completed, this railway will allow goods from Jubail or Ras Al Khair to move straight to seaports and logistics hubs across the Gulf region, shortening transit times and significantly reducing logistics costs. Thanks to these multi-layered connections, King Fahd International Airport has grown far beyond the role of a conventional airport. It has become a strategic cargo hub where production, energy, logistics, and commerce intersect. This foundation is essential for Saudi Arabia as it accelerates non-oil economic growth and moves closer to its ambition of becoming one of the world's leading logistics centers by 2030. From the story of King Fahd International Airport, we can see a broader rule of modern aviation. An airport is not merely a place where aircraft take off and land, but a massive infrastructure ecosystem that connects transportation, industry, commerce, and energy. Whether built in harsh desert environments or densely populated cities, today's airports function as strategic junctions of the economy. They create global cargo flows, shorten transportation time, stimulate trade, and open economic opportunities that would have been hard to imagine just a few decades ago. For King Fahd, the combination of its geographic position, surrounding industrial systems, and new logistics projects has allowed the airport to go far beyond its traditional role, becoming part of the industrial energy commercial structure of the entire eastern province of Saudi Arabia. And on a wider scale, this is also the common development direction for 21st century airports, building stronger infrastructure, enhancing connectivity, and becoming drivers of non-oil growth, technological advancement, and global integration. For decades, Saudi Arabia's economy was tied to oil fields and energy export routes. But now the country is redefining itself by investing in large-scale infrastructure and creating new trade hubs. And King Fahd is the gateway in the sky of this transformation. With an area among the largest in the world, international standard runways, a terminal covering hundreds of thousands of square meters, and the capacity to expand to accommodate hundreds of millions of passengers per year, this project reflects the ambition of a nation repositioning itself on the global economic map. Looking at the full picture, it is clear that the rise of King Fahd is not just the story of a giant airport. It is evidence of how a country can reshape its future through strategic infrastructure, from an oil-based economy to a commercial and logistics center with global influence. Thank you for exploring this mega project with Mandarin Tech. Stay with us as we continue to discover the projects that may reshape the world's economy and technology in the future.